Yesterday I was listening to Radio 4 because I'm a fucking intellectual, and there was a report on the way that many large department stores are having to do massive upgrade work to their beauty and makeup departments. And the reason for this is there's been a huge surge in sales of makeup for young women and some young men, because apparently men wear makeup now. But this surge is so that the young women can make themselves up and then post selfies to Instagram. And the store they were reporting from actually has a booth installed with Wi-Fi and what's described as the perfect lighting conditions. And the reporter was speaking to a woman in her 20s. I mean, she said she was in her 20s, but she's on the radio, so I've got no way of verifying that. And the reporter asked, "Oh, you've had your makeup done. Is this going on Instagram?" And the lady replied, "Yeah, if it doesn't go on Insta, then it didn't happen." I thought, she sounds fucking irritating. That's a proper fuck it and chuck it right there. And then the reporter carried on saying, "So how much do you spend on makeup?" And the young lady replied, "Well, on average, around £800 a month." Now, it's her money, so she can do whatever the fuck she likes with it. But if I were a young single man and someone said, "Oh, have you met Lucy? She spends £200 a month on makeup," I'd be thinking, what the fuck is that covering up? I wouldn't buy a car that had a respray because you never know what's going on underneath it. With £200 a month, she's putting it on with a fucking shovel. But it's got me thinking today about this modern obsession we have with posting selfies on social media. Now, I'll be honest, I do it. But if I do it, there's usually some sort of context to it. If I've been to see a gig and I've met a musician I really admire, or for people who know me outside of YouTube, the most common selfie I take, and this is a real thing, is whenever I go to the tip, I'll take a selfie there at the local council recycling centre, because it is the dullest thing I can imagine. But it's the tip where you take things when they're no longer needed, when they're worn out. A reminder that all things are finite and we're all going to die. Mrs. Disgruntled's younger than me, so she's a bit more snap happy. And when she's had her hair done, she'll, well, put a picture on Instagram in seconds. But again, there's context there. There's a reason she's doing it. If you want to know which hairdresser my wife uses, if you're in the Midlands, I assume it's the one with the fucking helicopter on the roof. Why do women's haircuts cost so much? Seriously, if my wife has everything done, I've bought cars that cost less than that. But this obsession with selfies has got me thinking about how many posts there are on Instagram which have no context. It's just someone taking a picture of themselves, basically just confirming that they're not dead. No reason for it, other than obviously it's an attention-seeking thing. Please, please like my photo, like my photo. And it's mainly young women. And again, yeah, there are some young men, but there are mainly young women. And they're only afforded a couple of poses because smiling, apparently, that's not permitted anymore. And there's the two poses are, there's the classic pout that I'm aware how fucking ridiculous I look doing that. And the other one is the staring forlornly into the middle distance, this. It seems that young women now either have to look like a prostitute or like they've suffered a mild concussion. But this, well, for a few years now, because it's clear that people now post photos just for the sake of posting fucking photos, technology has moved on. As we all know, every site will have effects and filters. My phone has got fucking hundreds built into it. You know the thing where you can take a photo and then it looks like you've got a Viking helmet on or something. And I've never, ever used it because I don't have fucking brain damage. The most common one you'll see is the dog face thing, you know, the big ears and the tongue hanging out. And if you are posting that, what message are you trying to convey? Because when I see those pictures, I think, does that person want taking down the park so I can go for his shit? But alarmingly, the group of people taking the most selfies and posting them are young girls, teenagers, high school girls. And this apparently now is how popularity is judged, how many likes they can get. And it might sound harmless, unless you realise there are studies that show that an obsession with social media can lead to low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, and then couple that with online bullying and grooming from paedophiles. It's not so nice, is it? But whatever people are posting as selfies onto Instagram, it is nothing compared to the anger I feel to the people putting pictures up of their fucking dinner. Now again, context is important. If you've cooked a meal using a recipe you've never used before and it's gone well, fair enough. If it's an important anniversary or you've been on a diet, great. But these fuckers will just put up a picture of a cheese roll and lunch. No one fucking cares. I mean, before this technology existed, when I was young, at no point in my youth did I have my dinner in front of me, go upstairs, get my camera, wind it on, set my flash, take a photograph, go down to Jessop's, wait for the film to be developed for an hour, then get on my bike and ride around the village to show all my friends, look what I had for fucking tea, I'm great. This is where technology has gone fucking wrong. But I started this quite ranty video with how much it's costing women in makeup just to go on Instagram. So here's a bit of advice, ladies. You see, a lot of you are taking your picture from up there. Trust me on this. If you're doing it from that angle, most men don't care about your face. They're looking at your tits.